On a wind-lashed Friday night in March 2023 in Portland, Oregon, I requested an Uber from a riverfront bar to my apartment barely 4 miles uphill, expecting the familiar comfort of heater vents and soft jazz radio after a draining work week. Yet within those short miles, I learned that a GPS line can redraw its own route until every street feels freshly constructed for whoever or whatever controls the steering wheel. The app showed a silver Prius 2 minutes away. Driver name Alden, rating 4.97. Nothing felt off until the car rolled up. Headlights dimmer than factory, paint dull as unpolished pewter. And my phone buzzed with the usual "your driver has arrived," except the push notification included coordinates after my address, 45.523.452, negative 122.674935. I ignored the numbers, climbed in, confirmed my destination, and buckled. Dash vents exhaled chilled air despite outside temps flirting with freezing, and the cabin smelled of eucalyptus masking something metallic, like coins heated on a skillet. Traffic lights reflected darkly in the driver's eyes, visible in the rear view, but no greeting came, only a nod, palms already gripping 10 and 2. We merged onto Naito Parkway. The Prius accelerated with a battery whir louder than normal, as if the regenerative brakes reversed chorus. My phone pinged a route adjustment, estimated arrival 9 minutes. A hum of relief slipped through clenched teeth because the city's grid is simple, until Naito's river curve blurred into a tunnel of rain, and rather than turning up Market Street, we glided past at 45, the driver signaling nothing. I presumed he followed Waze congestion data, yet the speed felt inconsistent with wet asphalt. The dashboard screen remained conspicuously black, no navigation running. My phone vibrated again, ETA now 11 minutes, map zoomed out, displaying a detour south along the river. I leaned forward, asking, voice strained, to verify he'd missed the market turn, but he tapped the wheel twice, a casual gesture, and the Prius sped up. The display on my lock screen altered by itself. Numbers from the earlier notification appeared larger, pulsing like heartbeat, and I realized they matched the coordinates of Ross Island Bridge, notorious for night accidents. Crossing the Hawthorne ramp, city lights receded. Windshield wipers struggled against sideways sheets of rain that occluded signs. My phone brightness dimmed unbidden, showing only the coordinate string and a timer counting down from 300 seconds. Cold breaths fogged my window, heater remained off. Ahead, the bridge's red lights blurred. The Prius signaled to merge, though no cars followed. Lane markings glittered, then vanished as we veered onto a maintenance shoulder blocked by a plastic drum. Driver navigated around without slowing. At the bridge's midpoint, he braked to a crawl. Timer reached 60 seconds. My gut flipped into survival mode. I unbuckled, hand on door, but child locks engaged. Toggle clicked audibly. The driver's silhouette shifted barely. Mouth moved, but no sound reached me. Instead, the Prius's infotainment screen flickered alive, showing back camera feed not of rainy pavement, but of me in the rear seat, shot from inches behind my skull. In that impossible angle, my eyes were closed, though I stared wide open. A red countdown mirrored my phone's. Door handles receded into panels as central lock thunked. Outside, river wind howled. Water below churned black. The driver guided the car to a halt against the guardrail, tires inches from gap. Timer ticked 10:09. Each pulse matched by a metallic clink under the chassis. The camera feed on the screen zoomed deeper into my face until pixels broke apart. Within static, I saw grainy footage of a different passenger, a woman I did not know, seated where I sat, rain streaking identical, terror mirrored. Countdown reached 3, engine cut, cabin lights died. In near dark, I heard the seatbelt motors retract, my belt yanked tight, pinning shoulders. I screamed, but voice fell flat against upholstery. Phone slid from grip, landing face up. Timer showed 0, then reset to 4:59, coordinates updating to a point east near an industrial barge dock. The driver exhaled sharply, breath clouded rear view like vapor. He tapped wheel twice again, restarted engine, reversed from rail. Screen feed rewound, distant city, unknown passenger, until settling back on live view of my wide-eyed stare. The Prius accelerated, merging back into drizzle traffic. My belt slackened, dashboard heat finally kicked. Eucalyptus scent fading into pure copper. 5 minutes later, we exited onto a frontage road flanked by warehouses. Street lights flickered sequentially off as we passed, bathing asphalt in strobed gloom. The car stopped before a padlocked chain gate. Beyond lay a rusted pier sloping into Willamette's Ink. Timer reached 0 again. The car's locks cycled. My door clicked open by itself, spilling frigid air dashed with diesel fumes. Phone displayed message, end ride to confirm completion. I complied, thumb numb. The ride summary read, distance 0.0 miles, fare $0. Thank you for choosing. Driver never looked back. I stepped onto cracked pavement. Gate chain hung broken, links crusted fresh. The Prius reverse lights off, tires silent, disappearing into fog. My phone buzzed a final push, rate your driver. I closed app, sprinted toward faint warehouse lights, lungs burning. Security guard inside claimed no vehicles had entered for hours. Police traced the license plate on my receipt. Number belonged to a silver Prius, totaled 6 months earlier when its driver veered off Ross Island Bridge. Passenger never found. App support insisted my ride ID never activated due to connectivity glitch. Their logs showed cancellation at bar pickup location. And to this day, requesting Uber resets my phone brightness. Displaying coordinates, overlaying map for half a heartbeat, always waterline points near bridges. When I delete the app, street lamps along Market Street flicker in sync with phantom battery whirs, and I keep walking, never tempting a ride, because the route that loops twice may still circle back, counting down to coordinates waiting to trade asphalt for river current. Just after 1 a.m. on December 14, 2023, snow whipping sideways across the arrivals lanes at Chicago O'Hare, I ordered an Uber from Terminal 5 to my sister's condo in Logan Square. Grateful the app still showed drivers on duty despite the storm, the ping matched me with a black Hyundai Sonata driven by Hector L, 5-star rating 4 minutes out. My phone battery hovered at 11%, so I turned on low power and hustled to the rideshare island, shivering under sodium lights that blurred into halos. Hector's Sonata glided up almost silently. He popped the trunk, I tossed my duffel and slid into the back seat, expecting the usual small talk ritual. The cabin smelled of coffee grounds and mint, heat blasting. He greeted me with a quick nod in the rear view, teeth catching dashboard glow, then tapped his dash phone to start the trip. As we pulled away, my own screen refreshed. ETA 28 minutes, route via Kennedy Expressway. Beneath my name, a grey avatar labelled Julie S. appeared, sitting position front passenger, pickup in 2 minutes. I'd selected private ride, no pool, but assumed the app glitched. Before I could mention it, Hector slowed near an unlit employee lot bordering aviation fuel tanks. Snow piled in drifts. No person stood waiting. Still, the passenger door unlocked with a click, hinges easing open as if invited by wind. Cold air funneled through, swirling flakes across the dashboard. The seatbelt retracted, buckled itself, and the door thudded shut. Hector said, "Evening, Julie." Voice calm. I froze, staring at the empty seat, indent forming on cushion as though a weight settled. My app chimed. "All riders on board. Battery 10%. I cleared my throat, told Hector there was no Julie. He met my eyes in the mirror longer than polite, then looked away like he'd heard this before. "It'll be quick," he said. "Her drop-off's the first stop." I argued I hadn't chosen pool, but he gestured toward his device. It displayed an Uber interface I'd never seen. High-contrast black. Destination pinned to Montrose transfer point. Authorized access. I'd lived in Chicago 10 years without hearing of it. Outside, highway signs smeared past, plows carving powder into dirty spray. The Sonata's tires hummed at steady speed, yet odometer digits on dash flickered unpredictably, jumping from 47 to 61, then back. Up front, a thin sheen of condensation crept over passenger-side glass, as if someone exhaled there. The car radio, muted earlier, whisper scrolled stations until stopping on dead AM static, punctuated by faint boarding announcements, eerily similar to the ones I'd just left inside the terminal. We exited onto an industrial frontage road paralleling the river. Warehouses hulking beyond chain-link fences. My phone vibrated again. Julie dropped off. "Thanks for riding." A tip screen asked me to rate her company. At the same instant, the passenger door opened by itself. Seatbelt unlatched, cushions sprang back, snowflakes twirled inside, then vanished, door shut. Hector merged back toward highway ramps without pausing. "One more quick detour," he said, almost apologetic. "My app refreshed. New rider echo, user 00, pickup imminent, profile icon a hollow grey circle." I told Hector to end the ride, I'd pay extra. He only whispered, "It requests itself." Happens on nights like this. The Sonata turned down a ramp signed "Closed for construction," barriers moved aside as though earlier disturbed. We entered a service tunnel beneath I-90. concrete walls, work lights buzzing, asphalt damp with meltwater. My phone battery slipped to 6%. Airplane mode wouldn't open while ride active. The tunnel narrowed. Yellow bulbs spaced too far apart stretched vision into strobes. From the cabin, speakers came a boarding gate jingle, slowed to half speed, warped into minor key. I dialed 911. Call failed. No cellular network. I snapped a picture of Hector's profile to screenshot license. Storage full error, though I had gigs free. Halfway down the tunnel, signal lights on Hector's dash pulsed red. Steering wheel twitching fractionally side to side without his touch. His knuckles whitened. I saw beads of sweat despite the cold. He mumbled something in Spanish, prayer or curse, ending with, "Otra vez están aquí." Again they are here. The car decelerated before a rusted utility door painted with a faded airport logo. Map on Hector's phone zoomed into a grid of corridors, nothing like city streets. The route line stopped at a green blink labeled transfer room. He killed the engine. "Echo user always meets here," he said, voice hollow. "They ride in silence. Then payment clears. Double cash tip every time. I need it. Market's rough." Before I could yell, the rear door lock beside me lifted. Handle depressed of its own accord, door yawning to pitch black space beyond tunnel floodlight reach. Cabin lights failed, only Hector's phone cast ghost glow. Heater cut, air smelled of jet fuel and mildew. In the slice of darkness outside I heard no footfalls, yet the seat next to me compressed downward, leather groaning under invisible weight. Cold pressed against my thigh where nothing touched. The door closed softly. All locks thunked. Hector restarted the car. Engine cranked slower, like battery half dead. Then caught. I demanded he let me out. He met my eyes. I saw tears. If anyone leaves early, ride never finishes. They follow me home. He eased forward, deeper into the maintenance network. Tunnel walls beaded moisture that froze mid-drip. My phone battery 3%, flashlight died. Radio static syllabled broken words shaped like my own name. The invisible rider's seatbelt clicked. The red buckle light on dash showed all passengers secure. We arrived at a cinder block chamber ending in a roll-up gate. Hector's app displayed drop complete, processing fare, but my phone showed no change. Invisible belt released, door opened. A gust sucked heat out. From within the black I thought I smelled eucalyptus and coins. Door shut, locks cycled. Hector exhaled with tremor. He reversed, tires crunching salt crystals. Once we reached open highway near Irving Park, my phone died completely. At my building he stopped, insisted no charge, just rate 5 stars so the algorithm stays pleased. I agreed. He pulled away as streetlights flickered, Sonata's taillights winking out before the end of the block like someone cut the video feed. Inside, on the charger, my phone rebooted, showing no record of a ride that night. Activity log empty between 1:04 a.m. and 2:37 a.m. Gallery held one new image, a blurred shot of O'Hare baggage claim from impossible height, timestamped 2 minutes before pickup. In the foreground, a figure resembling me stood alone, holding phone at low battery icon. Behind, over my shoulder, floated a grey hollow circle. I deleted the app, but every snowstorm night since, push notifications slip past "Do Not Disturb Echo User 00 requesting pickup, ETA driver 2 minutes. Accept and decline buttons pulse unresponsive until dawn melts the storm and the offer expires, waiting for the next freezing evening when my battery's too low and the promise of just one more quick detour might sound like something I can afford. On the windless night of August 11, 2024, during an oppressive heat advisory in Phoenix, Arizona, I moonlit as an Uber driver, chasing surge fares along Camelback Road because my tech startup salary kept evaporating into student loan interest, and at exactly 3:18 a.m., my dashboard map exploded into crimson prime time. Except the surge zone formed a perfect circle around the South Mountain Preserve, a stretch nobody requested at that hour unless they were coyotes or late-shift astronomers. Greed overrode instinct. I tapped Navigate to Hotspot and felt my Corolla's air conditioner cough like it disliked the idea. Within 2 minutes a ping arrived. Rider name unknown. Pickup Desert Foothills. Trailhead. Destination to be announced. 5-star rider. Profile image blank. Fare multiplier 4.8 times. I accepted. The app flashed a warning. Rough road, limited cell service, but the surge would cover half a car payment. City glow died as I climbed the switchbacks. Asphalt shimmered under high-beam glare, and the radio lost its talk show caller mid-sentence. replaced by faint thermal static that rose each time the steering wheel straightened. Temperature outside read 104 degrees, inside barely cooler. The trailhead appeared, parking lot empty except my headlights catching a dust plume. The pin hovered 30 yards down the unlit path where pavement ended. The app chirped arrived. No human silhouette waiting. I considered cancelling, but protocol required a 3-minute wait. At 3:27, the passenger door unlocked on its own. Sensor weight registered 143 pounds, seatbelt indicator lit, and a gust of oven-hot air funneled across the console, smelling of creosote and copier toner. The app transitioned to rider on board, destination uploading. My interior rear view reflected nothing in the seat, though upholstery dimpled as if bearing load. The air conditioner clicked off entirely, yet condensation beaded on the windshield inside. I cleared my throat, offered a cautious hello, voice sounding brittle. Silence followed, but phone vibrated with a text from an unknown number. "Thank you for picking me up again." My stomach flipped. Again implied familiarity. I typed, "Who is this?" Response arrived instantly. "You'll remember at 3:33. The destination populated. Home. Do not alter route." No address, just a pulsing icon in North Phoenix suburbs. I pulled away, tires skidding gravel, merging back onto the silent arterial. ETA 7 minutes. As speed stabilized, my dashcam rebooted. Screen filling with footage from earlier nights. Quick cuts of my Corolla interior with various passengers, bachelorette groups, night shift nurses. Then clips I'd never recorded. Daylight drives where I wore a yellow polo I don't own. Dropping off riders whose faces blurred into watercolor streaks. Each clip timestamp ended at 3:32 a.m. Always. I stabbed power, but the dash cam remained powered, though unplugged, strobing through impossible memories. Highway signage blurred past, yet navigation arrows stayed straight even when lanes curved, like the map dictated geometry, not pavement. At 3:31, the windshield clouded from inside. Letters in condensation spelled, "Turn headlights off." Terror warred with compliance. I resisted until headlights flickered by themselves and died, leaving only pale dash glow. The desert landscape around appeared brighter under moonwash than with halogen beams. Terrain unfamiliar. Saguaro silhouettes crowded closer to shoulder than zoning allowed, arms bent toward the road like crooked sentries. My phone alarm, which I'd set for 6 a.m., blared prematurely, vibrating off the mount. And the ringtone warped into a recorded version of my own voice, repeating coordinates I recognized as my apartment. The ETA now read 2 minutes. The odometer said 12 miles still ahead. Roadside mileage sign showed nothing but a barcode pattern. Heat inside spiked. Sweat ran gritty with dust. Seatbelt chime dinged as if passenger unbuckled. Sensor weight dropped to 0. Rear door latch clicked. I dared glance back. Seat imprint remained but deepened, material groaning like foam under a granite block, yet still no form visible. At 3:33, a road flare of icy air erupted from all vents, frosting the center console, and my phone map zoomed to rooftop view of my complex, arrow diving into parking spot 23, my assigned space, then into building outline, down hall, into my unit's living room. Camera icon blinked. Feed opened. Live view of my apartment from ceiling height. Lights off. Couch empty. The image rotated 90 degrees, now showing my driver's seat in present tense, but with me absent. Steering wheel turned itself while the Corolla cruised 55. The feed zoomed to passenger seat. From air nothingness, a hand materialized pixel by pixel. Skin tone matching mine, knuckles scarred from teenage accident. Hand holding my spare apartment key on the purple fob I'd misplaced last month. Ahead, red brake lights of a semi blinked through dust. I slammed the pedal, narrowly avoiding collision. When I looked up again, semi and desert were gone. Instead, I coasted into my apartment complex entrance. Memory blank of city miles in between. The Corolla idled into space 23, transmission shifting without my foot. Door lock cycled. The blank rider profile disappeared. Fare register reading $0 plus tip, knowledge transferred. My phone battery drained from 62% to critical. In the mirror, I finally saw a shape in the backseat, distorted silhouette of me wearing the yellow polo from the dashcam reels, face pockets hollow. It raised a phantom key, inserted into air where ignition should be on older cars, turned. My real engine died, cabin lights snuffed. The figure whispered with my voice yet empty of breath, "Remember now?" I lunged to the door. It opened, but when I leapt out, I found myself in my apartment's living room, carpet damp with desert dust, front door chain swinging. Outside in the lot, the Corolla sat dark, no sign of second me. Yet yellow polo fabric snagged on driver door handle fluttered in breeze. Uber trip history remains blank between 3:18 and 3:34. Customer support claims my account showed offline due to signal loss. Dashcam files corrupted but still frames salvaged by a tech friend reveal the empty passenger seat morphing mid-frame. Pixels assembling my likeness gradually until full body occupies seat, then dissolving just before arrival like a time-lapse of self-creating and erasing in loops. I deleted the driver app, sold the Corolla, but every night at 3:33, my phone finds itself atop the doormat outside, screen puzzled by a missed ride request labeled "Home Again." And inside my apartment, the air smells of eucalyptus and copier toner until dawn burns the surge away. When the ride seems too good or too cheap, remember the route may already know your home better than you do. If these true Uber horrors made you think twice before the next pickup, like, share, subscribe, and tap the bell icon, because the next driver arriving ping might be you in the back seat.